nila ay hindi para magbusisi ng mga budget para sa mga iba't ibang sangay ng gobyerno. Kung hindi, gamitin ito as political operations to attack, malign, and destroy the character mainly of the Vice President who is deemed to be the next successor to Marcos sa 2028 o baka mas maaga pa. Attorney Marlon, nakita po ng buong bansa, ng bawat Pilipino or maraming Pilipino here and including sa abroad at nagagalit po sila sa kagaspangan at kawalang respetong ipinakita ng mga kongresista na kaalyado at mga bata-bata bilang alipores ni Martin Romualdez na nagsagawa po ng isang lusob attack para dumugin at bastusin po ang budget deliberation intended to approve and pass the budget for the office of the Vice President. Except ang mga nakipagsimpatya at pumosisyon kay Congressman Marcoleta na nagsasabing bigyan natin ng marapat na kortesiya as a matter of tradition and as a matter of good manners at mabuting asal sa mga kapwa halal ng bayan na mas mataas pa ang inabot na boto at posisyon ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Your initial comments, Attorney Basantog.
Yes, unang-una, when we look at public funds, ang kinakailangang tingnan natin dyan is the responsibility of each and every individual holding public office in the disbursement of money coming from the public. Why? Kasi ito ay dugot pawis to ng manggagawa, no? Yung teachers, yung mga sundalo, kahit yung mga simple na tao lamang, na sabi natin na hindi nagbabayad ng income tax. Pagbibilihan ng shampoo, may VAT yan.
Yes.
12% ng kung magkano man yung bili nila doon, nagbabayad sila. So sa makatuwid, no? Even the poorest of the poor are actually paying taxes. Kaya hindi pwedeng sabihin na lang natin na hindi natin tignan kung paano ang pag-disburse ng mga budget. No? Ang tinatawag dyan is extraordinary diligence in the safeguarding of our budget. Ang pangalawa, there's also the honor in tradition na ginagawa ng Congress in order to honor the other executive branch. No? Kasi di ba hindi naman while they are autonomous to each other, from each other, they are also interdependent because their functions interrelate. Kaya kung ano yung ginawad mo na courtesy doon sa Office of the President, it is expected that you also do it to the Office of the Vice President, which they had been doing, no? Kahit yung sa time ni President Duterte and even prior sa time ng former President. Sabi nga ni Marcoleta, I have been here, no? And I have been witnessing the courtesy given in the honoring the tradition for so many years. Ngayon lang natin ito ginagawa.
Ayun. Attorney Busantog, kung hindi pa po nanindigan si Congressman Marcoleta, and I think Congressman Ongab joined him,
yes,
and Congressman Pascual, something. Iming Pascual, I think. Sila mismo nakakakita na hindi na po ito usapin ng oversight function on the budget process. Ito'y usapin na ng kawalang respeto at kawalan ng pagbibigay tiwala sa Office of the Vice President. Attorney Busantog, ang ganda ng punto mo. Accountability and transparency in any government budget of any government agency, bagamat yan ay nararapat na gawin, subalit mayroon tayong agency dyan kapag nagkaroon na tayo ng proseso of expenditures na nagagastos na. At yan ang pinunto din ni former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The 2022 and 2023 budget have already been expended.
Yes.
And COA did not find any anomalous or illegal na mga pondo related to the budget of the Vice President sa kanyang opisina o even sa DepEd, nang sa pa ang DepEd Secretary, doon sa budget or fiscal year 2022-2023. Bakit natin babalikan yon? Tapos na yon. Doon tayo kumakalkal at tumahanap ng pwedeng ibato doon sa ang dinideliberate at pinag-uusapan ay ang fiscal year 2025 na ang budget ay nakasalang. So may punto doon ang former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Attorney Marlon Busantog, before po ang ating talakayan, pakinggan natin itong isang video presentation na nagpapakita kung paano nagpahayag ng tamang punto at wastong mga paglatag ng kanyang argumento itong si Congressman Rodante Marcoleta.
Honorable Marcoleta, please repeat your inquiry.
Yes, in connection to the earlier parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair, I have already related the value of tradition. Parliamentary procedures, Madam Chair, grow from or are enriched by traditions, experiences, and precedents collectively gathered by the House of Representatives over years, and the institution keeps them well. That is why, from my entry in 2004 or the 13th Congress until today, I have observed the observance of that well-kept tradition. The two highest positions in government, namely the office of the President and the office of the Vice President, were duly accorded with respect and deference. I have observed that. That's why I have relayed to you earlier, in 2022, the Honorable Libanan, invoking courtesy, took him only 13 minutes to dispose the office of the Vice President. And that was quickly moved, quickly seconded by no less than our majority leader. That was in 2022. I'm not going by record, Madam Chair. 2023, I said, no less than the presidential son, our own senior deputy majority leader, stood up and said that in line with the time-honored tradition of according courtesy to the office of the Vice President, I move to terminate the budget briefing of the OBP. And I can recall the Honorable Castro strongly objected.
No, Manuel.
No, that's in 2023. This is by the record. And she objected, but her objections were rejected by the committee because the committee already terminated the proceedings. And she kept on requesting, Madam Chair, that she makes at least her manifestation. And she was unable to do that because the proceedings were terminated. So that what I am saying, from 2004, when I entered these halls, these hallowed halls, hanggang punto sa sinasabi kong 2023, we have kept the tradition. Ngayon po, kung ano-ano ng mga tanong ang ginawa, in 2023, 22 minutes, 2022, 13 minutes. Ito po, pinagawayan na po yung budget earlier at ngayon we're about to quarrel again on the budget. Ang tanong ko nga po ngayon, dahil nga po sa nangyayari ngayon sa budget ng Office of the Vice President, and despite her manifestation that she will no longer defend her budget because she forgo, sabi niya, I will forgo my opportunity to defend the budget of the OBP for 2025 by way of question and answer, and I will leave to the House of Representatives to decide such proposal as presented. We cannot even accept such kind of answer, Madam Chair. What do we need her to articulate for? So ang pinag-uusapan po natin, wala na po ba yung respeto sa tradisyon na yun? Kagaya po ng binabanggit ko, every time mag-interpolate po dito, Madam Chair, because of that tradition, it's always the member of the minority who will start the interpellation because we have kept that tradition. Ang dami po. Ang dami ko pang sasabihin sa inyo, haba lang tayo. So the question is, when we did that to the Vice President earlier, now we're doing it now, are we now setting aside this tradition? That's number one question. Number two, is this committee authorized to set aside the tradition?
Your Honor, short answer is no to both questions.
Okay. If that is the answer, Madam Chair, and we are all bound to respect one tradition so sacred in our hearts, because we are called honorables in this house. We cannot be honorables if we cannot honor our own tradition. We are defined by what we believe as a tradition in this house. So if we are now all amenable that we have kept that tradition, no longer questions are being asked, then I will respectfully move, Madam Chair, to terminate the budget of the OBP for 2025.
I object, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you.
Siyempre si Manuel. Very quick to the gun eh.
Okay, nagko-comment pa kami ni Attorney Marlon sa aming video. Attorney Marlon, narinig niyo mga kababayan ha? I object, ito yung dapat pinusasan eh. Ito dapat ang pinadala ng 5,000 pulis eh. Kasi ito talaga ang mga recruiter ng NPA. At yan po ay recorded sa Senate. Ako mismo ay may direct knowledge. Itong si Castro, convicted criminal. Yan, Manuel Castro at saka si Brosas. Ito dapat ang pinadala ng 5,000 pulis. Sapagkat sila ang sumisira sa ating bayan, sila ang nananabutahi sa ating mga opisyal na naglilingkod ng tama. Pero ibigay ko muna kay Attorney Marlon before ang komentary ko. Attorney Marlon, Congressman Marcolita was so deliberate in his discussion na kung gusto nating tawaging mga honorable tayo dito, respetuhin natin ang mga nakagawiang tradisyon na nagbibigay tayo ng karampatang kortisya doon sa mga hindi natin sakop at nakakataas pa sa atin ang mga opisinang hawak nila. The President, the Vice President. At bigyan natin sila ng karampatang kortesiya, not for the person, but for the office that they occupy and the mandate that the people had given them. Attorney Marlon.
Yes. I think, unang-una, I would like to commend the clarity of explanation and the reason that was expounded by Congressman Marcolita. It's very maganda yung pagkasabi niya. Unang-una, we cannot just simply say tradition, pwede ka na. The tradition was a product of years and years of collective experience and courtesy and good governance being practiced by Congress towards the President and the Vice President.
Yes.
That's why, sa araw din na yun, nagkaroon ng hearing on the budget of the President. Wala po si President doon. But they were accorded that courtesy and the tradition and the budget of the President, more than 10 billion, was immediately dispatched because of tradition. So, we are saying that we should not honor tradition. The thing is that we can let go of tradition if there is a clear and present danger doon sa budget ng Vice President. Kasi the welfare of the people cannot be superseded by mere tradition.
Yes.
But that tradition has a purpose and has a meaning. No? Kaya nga sabi niya, we cannot be called honorables if the very traditions that we should be respecting, binabaliwala natin. Kasi ganito nangyari. Kung ayaw mo na ng tradition na gayon at gusto mo na titignan ang lahat ng mga budget, ginawa mo yan sa Office of the President.
Yeah, kasi patas ka dapat.
Patas ka dapat. At ginawa mo yan noong 2022.
22, 23.
O 2023, anak pa ng President yung nagsalita. And suddenly, you're saying na, tingnan natin ang budget, hindi lang 2025, but ng 2022. It's clearly a political assassination.
Yun.
It's clearly a matter of political survival. This is not about good housekeeping.
So the
Kasi
target, Attorney Marlon, by the way, tanong ko lang sa iyo direkta. It appears is no longer the budget per se. The target is to assassinate the character and persona of the Vice President.
Is to assassinate the political capital of the Vice President. Kasi kung totoong gusto mo about transparency and accountability of the budget, unang-una, are you superseding the functions of the COA?
That's number
Kasi
one.
andun naman yung COA. Sinabi nila, nagbigay na kami ng notice of disallowance. Merong process dyan at the Vice President can appeal or actually explain as to why this budget is bakit nagkaroon ng notice of disallowance. No? Wala pa actually finding ng COA.
Yes.
But they want to have a finding on their own.
Meaning to si Attorney Bosantog, mga kababayan, the notice of disallowance is not equal automatic to corruption or finding of or conclusion of corruption.
No, even the President itself has a notice of disallowance.
Yon. At ang Kongreso nga dapat may mga ang inyong pera na ginagastos na walang klarong budget audit ang expenditures nyo at certification lang ang ginagawa nyo at walang mga resibo, dapat ngayon itigil nyo, mahiya kayo sa balat ng lupa. At ang binabanggit ni Atty. Bosantog, the COA was there.
Yes.
And COA was telling the entire plenary body na nagde-deliberate ng budget ng Office of the Vice President that the notice of disallowance is appealable.
Yes.
It's not congruent, automatic to issue of corruption or anomaly, and they're waiting for the submission of report and explanation coming from the Office of the Vice President. And even sa budget niya, pinapa-explain lang naman siya at hindi lang siya. Tama bang kuha ko, Atty. Busantog, sa binabanggit mo, that they want to attack the personal issues against the Vice President so that they will be able to assassinate the political value of the Vice President before the public.
Yes, what I can, ito yung nakita lang, simple lang naman yan eh. Unang-una, tama ka dyan eh. Dalhin ko sa example. Unang-una, if you want transparency and accountability to each and every cent na nanggagaling sa tax ng bayan, magsimula kayo dyan sa MOE ng Congress. Alam niyo kung bakit? Sabi niyo, wala kayong confidential funds. But the way you will certify kung paano mo nagastos yan is simply by certification.
Walang resibo.
Walang resibo. So, hindi mo alam kung saan napunta yan. Paano kung pinangsugal ni
Raul
Congressman?
Manuel. Ni Raul Manuel.
Ni Raul Manuel, no?
At ng mga kasabot.
Ang mga kasabot nila. Oh, so, what you simply say, certification, is not sufficient to say that you're actually after the transparency and accountability of budget of the Philippines. Clearly, ngayon lang ginagawa yan because the political lines have been divided. No?
Good point.
The Vice President now resigned from the cabinet and started exposing the anomalies of this government. Kaya siya tinitira. We understand that. The Vice President should also be ready for that. Kasi you cannot fight this kind of fight na sabi, oh, do not criticize me. You see how the budget now is being weaponized.
Yeah, weaponized.
In order to character assassinate the Vice President. That is, for me, the bottom line of everything. It's not about budget. Kasi kung it's about budget, we will join the call of the Congress to look at every nook and cranny ng budget ni Vice President and of the Congress and of the President.
Yun. At speaking of the President's budget, Atty. Busantog, from 2022 to 2023 hanggang sa 2024 na mga budget, umabot po sa mahigit 10 bilyon ang kanyang confidential fund. So kung bubusisiin mo ito, dapat bubusisiin mo rin saan nagastos yun. At tama pong binabanggit ni Atty. Busantog. The budget hearing and deliberation in the lower house at least right now is being weaponized as a political tool for persecution, political and character assassination para po ito sa paghahanda sa 2025 na midterm elections at sa 2028. At hindi po ito mangyayari kung hindi po ito kinukumpasan ng pinakapinuno ng House of Representatives. Sino po yun? Ang pinsan ni Marcos, si Martin Romualdez. Everything can be put in order, everything can become decent, everything, magiging decente ito lahat kung ang pinuno, kagaya ni Martin Romualdez, ay magiging decente din ang kanyang kondukta sa mga affairs on the powers and authority na sakop ng Kongreso. Atty. Busantog, you were telling kanina, balikan ko yung punto mo. Sabi mo, there was clarity on the part of Congressman Marcoleta nang sinabi niya na ito mga tradisyon na ito, sa kortesiya sa opisina ng Presidente at Vice Presidente, ibinunga po ito ng ating kolektibong pagkakaisa. That we presume that everything that they do is for the welfare of the people unless otherwise we are convinced by proof of evidence na may lapastangan sila at mga ginawang anomalya sa pondo. Wala eh. So, hindi po yan nangyayari lang kay Sara Duterte at kay Bongbong Marcos Jr. In the previous traditions, ganun po yun. Sapagkat ang Presidente at Vice Presidente ay halos po magkadugtong na mga opisina in terms of leading the way for the entire government machinery. How important was that point being pointed out by Congressman Marcoleta doon sa loob ng plenaryo sa budget hearing na napakahalaga para po, Atty. Busantog, mailugar ng tama ang attitude at kondukta ng House of Representatives members dito sa nangyayaring budget hearing na ito.
First, I have to clarify also na ang pinag-usapan na confidential funds ni Vice President noong 2022 is not her confidential funds.
Correct.
That is the confidential funds of the Office of the President. Kaya kung gusto niyo tanungin kung bakit niya binigyan ng 122 million si Vice President, tanungin yung Office of the President. But no, they're not even asking the Office of the President to explain as to why sa December ng 2022 nabigyan ng confidential funds ang Office of the Vice President.
Coming from
The Office of the President.
So therefore, the one to explain that should be the Office of the
Yes.
President.
Oh, dapat doon manggaling.
Attorney,
Kasi sila
hold
yung
your
nabigyan.
punches, please. At ang iyong mga magagandang punto de vista ay pagpapatuloy natin sapagkat dito na po ang admonisyon na ginawa ni Congressman Marcoleta sa mga kasamahan niyang nagbibidabidahan at naging bardagol ang kanilang mga pag-uugali. Tingnan natin po ito.
Ba't ang nangyari, a barrage of questions, that's why I'm asking. Bakit natin ginawa yun earlier? Are we not already respecting a tradition well kept by us?
Respect tradition.
Hindi nga, pinagtatanong niyo siya eh. Meron pang
There was no motion
disrespect to the office of the President, Vice President. So ano yung pinagtatanong niyo sa kanya eh? This question never happened before. That is the one I'm explaining to you. It did not happen before. Now, ang tanong ko po, ba't nangyari po nung nangyayari na naman ngayon?
We are talking of the office, not the person.
Motion was introduced.
You may not like the person, you may not like her presence here, but you have to respect the office of the Vice President. That is all, because that is guided by the tradition. Kahapon po, kagaya po na sinabi nila, wala nang pinagtanong sa office of the President, and that is correct. That is in line with that tradition. Ngayon po, kung ang tinatanong ko ngayon, are we discarding the tradition? And is this committee authorized to discard a well-kept tradition? So kaya nga, then why are we intending to ask questions na naman at pinatawag nyo na naman kung sino-sino dito? That is why, kung hindi po kayo makakasagot, Madam, ang tinanong ko na sa inyo, I am now moving. Oh, Bratinela pa? Saan po kayo nakakita ng gano'n? This did not happen anytime. Pang-labing 7 taon ko na po ito.
Alam nyo, Madam Stella, I was already here when the Vice President was Noli Castro, when the Vice President was Binay, when Vice President...
But you were also here in the last hearing. No motion was introduced.
Yun na nga, kasi question na kaagad eh. Wala man lang...
We can read the records. He did not introduce
Kaya nag-motion siya ngayon.
But it's...
Yung status, yung status, that is just the first thing is, that is the manifestation.
Yun. Itong si Stella Kimbo, nasayaw ni Salome, no? Sumayaw ng Salome yan, ang pinakulong niya kami ni Ma'am Lorraine, no? Parang si late Tessie Aquino Oreta, no? Sumayaw-sayaw siya ng sayaw ni Salome dahil pinakontempt kami nila sa kawalang hiyaan nila na tinatanong namin kung saan napupunta mga budget nila. Attorney Bosantog, Congressman Marcoleta was standing up with clear admonition addressed to the plenary. And the chairperson of the plenary on budget deliberation during that time at ang mga kasama niya, hindi makasagot bakit nyo pinipersonal ang Vice Presidente. Eh, ang dapat tinitingnan nyo ang opisina, hindi ang tao. You may not like the person, but you have to afford respect to the office. That person is entitled sa kanyang mandato na nanggaling sa mamamayang Pilipino. 32 million Filipinos ang nagboto dyan. Eh sila mga tag 100,000, 80,000, 25,000 votes, 30,000 votes. Oh, bakit nyo sasabihin ngayon na kayo ang may mandato ng tao? Kung hindi ito totoo, Attorney Bosantog, how important was that portion in the plenary of the budget deliberation kahapon where Congressman Marcoleta was seen admonishing ang mga colleagues niya sa kanilang kalokohan at kabulastugan sa larong maruming politika nila.
Oh. You see how Parliament should function. It is not because how many there are behind you, no? But it's the righteousness of your argument, the clarity of your reason that you can see the value of a true parliamentarian.
Agree.
So, kung Marcoleta, kung tatakbo kang senador, no? Meron tayong pag-uusapan.
At ikakampanya ka namin, sir.